Leander Dawnbreaker. Leander Dawnbreaker stood at the edge of the vast, shimmering expanse known as the Glass Desert, the heat rising in waves to distort the distant obsidian towers of the citadel. In his hand, a sealed communique from the High Regent commanded him to return and oversee the final subjugation of the desert's nomadic tribes. His other hand, however, held a crude, hand-carved token given to him by Elara, a tribal elder who had shown him kindness. The choice was brutal in its simplicity: obey the cold order of the state he served, or betray it for a people who had shown him his own humanity. Years earlier, a young Leander, fresh from the Citadel's academies, had been dispatched on his first patrol into the Glass Desert. He was a loyal instrument of the state, believing fully in the Regent's doctrine of order through control. His unit was ambushed by a sandstorm and then by desert raiders. Left for dead, he was found by a young tribeswoman named Kaela. She didn't see an enemy soldier, she saw a dying boy. Her people, the Sunsingers, nursed him back to health under their ragged tents, sharing their scarce water and showing him a community that thrived on mutual aid, not enforced obedience. Back in the present, the Regent's envoy, a severe man named Commander Vale, tapped his foot impatiently. "Well, Dawnbreaker, the order is clear. We march at dusk to crush their resistance before the twin moons align. Your hesitation is noted." Leander looked from Vale's cold, expectant face to the token in his palm. He thought of Kayla's laughter echoing in the dry air. He made his choice. Crushing the token in his fist, he looked Vale squarely in the eye. "I will not lead your troops. The order is unjust." During his convalescence with the Sunsingers, Leander had witnessed the true cost of the Citadel's order. A policing squadron descended on a nearby oasis, not to pacify, but to purge. He watched from a ridge as they executed an entire family for the crime of hoarding water they were using to irrigate a communal garden. The captain in charge laughed as he called it necessary pruning. It was then Leander understood the Regent's peace was a lie, built on a foundation of fear and brutality, a system he had willingly served. The consequences were immediate. Commander Vale's expression did not change, but his eyes grew dead. Treason, then. Leander was disarmed and dragged to the stockade. As the iron door clanged shut, he heard the war horns sound. The Legion would march without him, but now they marched with a new purpose: to make an example of the Sunsingers and the officer who defected to their cause. His choice had not saved them. It had painted a target on their backs and signed his own death warrant. On his last night with the Sunsingers, Elder Elara had taken Leander to a high dune. She pointed to the citadel, a black sliver on the horizon. "They believe they own the future because they build towers of stone and steel," she said, a voice soft but firm. "We build nothing but trust, and that is why we endure. Stone cracks, steel rusts, but a promise between people that can outlive the desert itself. Remember, boy, the easiest choice is often for yourself. The hardest is always for others." From his cell, Leander heard the distant echoes of explosion charges, legions clearing a path through the desert. He knew their tactics. They would herd the tribes toward the glass flats and trap them. His choice had failed. Despair threatened to consume him until he noticed a loose stone in the cell wall. Behind it was a small knife and a note, smuggled in by a low-ranking guard whose family had also been victimized by the Regent. The note was simple: "The desert has eyes. They are waiting for a signal." His choice had not been an end, it was a beginning. Standing on the ramparts hours later, having been freed by the sympathetic guard, Leander ignited the signal flare. It cut a brilliant red arc across the twilight sky. From the Iconians below, 1,000 small lights answered, Sunsingers and others, rising up not as a mindless mob, but as a united front. He had made the hardest choice for others, and in doing so, he had broken the regent's greatest illusion that people cannot choose to care for one another. He finally understood Ilara's words. He had not chosen to lose. He had chosen to build something that could not be toppled.